is there changes in employee expectations? So one aspect is if they're doing less billable hours, do you expect them to do more marketing or continue education, or what changes in the relationship when people might just have less work to do?
I mean, I already know what I'm going to be having my staff working on. If we do find ourselves slowing down, we've been growing at such a clip and we've been so busy for so long that like the infrastructure within the firm needs to be improved. And there's a lot of record keeping that we can get caught up on. There's policies that we can look at. So, John, when you're looking at these things like producing immigration, if obviously one way to increase revenue is to get more work and do more work. The other way to do it is to make your processes more efficient.
Hmm.
How is your team processing a case? Like revisiting that can be a tremendous benefit. Incorporating technology. I know like on the practice management listserv, there's constant talk about what case management software to use and how to do that. Like that's one part of the equation, but maybe now's the time to revisit it. If you can lower your cost on producing a case, you can still attack a better revenue proportionality that will allow you to withstand a recession. So for me, I'm going to be talking to my senior people and be like, hey, listen, like let's revisit this process, like the way we do an EB1. Like, you
Yeah.
know, how can we make that more cost effective for the practice without sacrificing the quality? And these are things that we really want to dig into. So you got to look at it from like two sides. It's like, how do you make the case? And what is your cost of creating the case? Because most of us are billing a fixed fee. And then how, obviously like what the nature of the work and how you can change your practice to continue to get revenue whilst you're in a downturn.
Now, one of the things I saw and I felt the recession coming in the last two quarters is the increased demand for payment plans on these family cases that I do. Now, when you deal with corporate clients, I'm assuming they don't do payment plans per se, but they do invoicing and then they have late paying off the invoice. Are you seeing more and more people taking more than 90 days or 180 days to pay their invoice?
Getting paid, it's always a problem, right?
Yeah.
Especially with the corporate clients because, they're on 30, 60, 90 days. Um, I haven't really seen that. I think actually the situation with the individuals that you're talking about is more due to inflation rather than recession.
Yeah, sure.
I think the cost of everything getting more expensive has forced people to spend less on things like legal services or have available disposable income to pay
Yeah.
for something like that. We did have one client, unfortunately, declare bankruptcy carrying a pretty big debt, and I would not wish that on anybody because the chances of you getting your money back are pretty slim. Like when you see the debtors line up and you go through the process, it's a little bit daunting. Um, Certainly, like talking to your clients about retainers is a good idea, especially if you have corporate clients. At least for us, we cover the filing fees for everybody. One of the things I've been thinking about, especially with the advent of the credit card being a means of processing, although we're not using it yet because of the errors and rejections, but
Yeah.
maybe having the client paying for that directly to lower the amount of money that we're putting out on top of
Yeah.
filings. So yeah, I do think at least within that case of the bankruptcy matter that I'm dealing with right now, that was certainly a result of economic downturn. The individuals, I really do think, at least for right now, is still an inflation driven metric.
Hmm.